The condo owner has a huge role and needs to be extremely involved. Even though the majority of condo owners today and those who volunteer to be on the board have very little condo education or knowledge, we have some solutions, so hang in there. One big misunderstanding I oftentimes run into, and the question that is asked, is isn't the management company responsible for guiding the HOA, and don't they take on the fiduciary responsibility? Possibly. It depends on what you have hired them to do, but the simple answer is no. Property management companies are not a regulated industry, and like any industry, regulated or not, there are good and bad companies. But because it is not a regulated industry, you need to make sure you know what you are hiring them to do more than ever, what they are responsible for, and what you are ultimately responsible for. It's like hiring an employee. They are given a scope of duties that you will agree upon for a price, but you are ultimately responsible for the company in all regards, and the company is the HOA. You are the condo owner, the business owner. Or, as a personal example, consider hiring a CPA to do your personal bookkeeping and taxes. They may do your taxes for you, but it's you who is ultimately responsible for anything submitted. The IRS will ultimately hold you in that capacity. This next slide is from our partners at CAP Management, property management company, who specializes in condos. The HOA Board of Directors are responsible for managing the business affairs of the association similar to those of any other business. Even though they are volunteers, they carry fiduciary responsibilities. Because of this fiduciary responsibility, it has been recommended that directors consider speaking to an insurance agent to discuss insurance coverage for directors and officers to ensure they are personally protected. That's how important this job is. The board has the responsibility, but usually little or no professional expertise or training. Remember, real estate agents in the United States are also not trained, yet they are advised to not act in the same fiduciary capacity in order to protect the condo consumer as well as themselves. Yet here we are asking average homeowners and citizens to act in this role. In looking at this slide, you can see it's the owner's responsibility to participate in the HOA experience in order to protect their investment. Active participation is vital to creating an effective association. The management company serves at the discretion of the HOA Board of Directors. Your management company counts on that essential relationship with the HOA Board, your neighbors and owners themselves, and you as a resident to work with them in establishing budgets for repairs, monitoring the complex activities, and ensuring compliance with the covenants and restrictions. Here's another way to consider things. When you purchase a condo, you are also purchasing a business. The HOA is the business that owns a large asset. That asset is the building. Imagine the due diligence that is done when purchasing a business, little less a large commercial building. How many condo buyers do you think do the due diligence required to understand the condition of the HOA and the building? Many might review all of the HOA documents and 12 months of board minutes and financials, but how many do you think understand what they say or know what they are looking for or what to do with the information if they find it? I really think most would admit they don't spend a lot of time on this package because it is overwhelming. And again, even if they did, what are they looking for? What would they do with this information? So instead, they are purchasing condos and a business they don't know anything about, and too often not wanting to be involved in the HOA. So they're handing that business, the HOA, over to their neighbors, who usually know just as little, to manage and run things, basically saying, hey, here you go. Here's my business. Let me know how much I owe you. You would never do that with the business you are purchasing. When you purchase a condo, you must be involved in the HOA. A very well-educated person commented on my LinkedIn not that long ago. He said, "This is exactly why I don't live in condos. I don't want a bunch of Karens running my life for me." Well, buddy, I think you said it all for me. You absolutely should not be letting a bunch of Karens run your life, making decisions for you if you live in a condo. It is your responsibility to be involved in your business, and if you decide to let Karens do that, well then, I'll just leave it at that. For the rest of you, now that I've convinced every condo buyer to look at the HOA as a business and to do the due diligence as if it is, and every condo owner to be involved in the HOA, and every HOA to become certified through our certification program, which, by the way, if you looked at it, it's a pretty tough program. There's a lot to do. And every professional who works with condos to go through special condo training, and every one of you to push for regulations and legislation. Well, I hope I've added just enough fear to get your attention, because this is an extremely important topic. We need to protect one another until we have the proper fiduciary and regulatory or legislative protection in place. Otherwise, we will watch thousands of condo owners lose their nest eggs or worse. We cannot let another tragedy like what happened in Miami happen again. I started this mission before that building collapsed, and it has been devastating knowing it could happen again. I hope you will help spread the word on this topic. It's something not many thought about or think about, but as soon as we discuss it, it becomes very obvious for obvious reasons.